Let's call the Board of Public Works and Capital Assets of April 8th to order. Roll call.
Bill's here.
Marshall here.
Guzikowski here. Um, Approval of minutes from 3/11/2025. Any changes or adjustments? Roll call.
Bill, aye.
Marshall, I.
Guzikowski, aye. Number 4, review of common council actions. Anything?
Yeah, just a quick reminder that City Hall is going to be closed tomorrow for staff training. So just plan accordingly for that in case you have any meetings.
Okay.
But that's all I've got. Thank you.
All there. Thanks. I see you were part of the planning.
You'll do fine.
Alrighty, number 5. Consider a motion to authorize the utility engineer to enter into a general service agreement with CDM Smith in the not to exceed amount of $50,000 and expiring December 31st, 2030.
We have a couple of general services contracts coming up this time. This is for CDM. They do all our hydraulic modeling on the water side for us. They're also working on water quality monitoring stations that we'll implement throughout the community to try and get a gauge on where our water is and help us out with that. So yeah, it's just that ongoing bits and pieces work that yeah, it would be new. We're evaluating a couple of different brands at the moment, but it'll collect a number of parameters that you can deploy these out in portable units. You can deploy these, say, at schools or at other facilities where we have access to them. It just gives us a broader collection of that data throughout the system, spread across the system. Right now, we collect a fair amount of that information from our pump stations. We're getting more at our storage facilities. We still don't have a lot there yet, but we don't have a lot representing the city as a whole. So we'd like to get yes, absolutely. Yes. Yeah, the high DBPs there. Yeah, absolutely. We get a sense on what's happening in our system in those outer reaches.
Would that also deploy into Franklin?
We would
They
not.
use- Okay,
We would
just
not.
in Oak Creek.
Yeah, because they're, I don't want to say just a customer, but they're a customer of ours, and we're not yet responsible for the water that's in their system. That's coming, but it's not. We're not doing that now.
Okay.
Sorry to interrupt. We will deploy those at the border, though, at the metering station, so we know the water that we're providing Franklin, and we can document that. So this is a number of years ago now. We monitor for disinfection byproducts. That's as a result of adding chlorine to the water, you can get these disinfection byproducts that are not healthy. So we monitor those. There is a regulation for those. We go out to specified locations as agreed upon in ours. So we have a set locations that we have to go, and we try and find locations that are easy to get at. If you can't get into somebody's home, and as an example, they're out of town, whatever the case is, and you don't monitor within that week period, that's a violation. So we try and pick places that we know we can get into. Pick and save for that reason on 27th Street, 27th and Ryan. The problem with that one is they have a very large water lateral coming in to support the fire protection of the building, and it's a long lateral. It's over 700 feet long. We are monitoring at their taps, so in their sinks in the building, that water was stagnant in that long lateral. We had very high disinfection byproducts. It's a violation. We have to send out notice to our customers that we have this high violation number, but it wasn't real. It doesn't represent our system. So yeah, we moved that one over the cousins across the street. Those are the types of things, yeah, we're trying to capture. It was for a year. We put it in our, we put it as a notice in our our consumer confidence report. Yeah. Occasionally, yes.
Any other questions? Comments? Motion on number 5.
Move to authorize. Not to exceed.
Marshall, second.
Roll call.
Marshall, aye.
Guzekowski, aye. All righty. Number 6, consider a motion to authorize utility engineer to enter into a professional service agreement with Clark Dietz in not to exceed the amount of $45,000.
This contract is, to this engineering consulting firm, is specific to our HVAC project at the treatment plant. We've gone through the design, we've gone through the bidding process. Now we need to hire them to do the shop drawing reviews and the technical inspection of that project. That's what this refers to. It also mentions in here someplace that we received PSC approval for that project, the construction authorization, but it was at a lower level than what the project came in at bidding out wise. Bid it out a second time, came back with a lower number, but it's still above the PSC authorization. So we have to go back to the PSC to get them to reauthorize this. So not happening soon, but sometime this summer. Sometime this summer, we should start the contract. We won't start construction until next year. But anyhow, for this contract, Clark Dietz did the design on the contract. They'll follow up doing that shop drawing review.
Good with that, everyone? Motion.
Marshall moves to authorize utility engineer to enter into a professional service agreement with Clark Dietz in the not to exceed amount of $45,000.
Roll call.
Aye.
Marshall, aye.
Guzekowski, aye. Alrighty. Number 7, consider a motion to approve utility vouchers in the amount of $657,125.67.
Nothing particularly special this.
Any comments or questions, anyone? Then a motion.
Marshall moved to approve the utility vouchers in the amount of $657,125.67.
Roll call.
Aye.
Marshall, aye.
Guzekowski, aye. Ready, number 8, administrative and operations reports.
The only thing I really have to note there is that we're starting out the year kind of slow. You can see it on both the administrative operations report and also the treatment plant report. Our percentages are a little low this year. That they're pretty even from the 5-year average, but we are starting out. Hopefully that'll pick up. Yes, sir. Doing fantastic. The main is filled. The main is they've sampled the new main. They are going back. They're going to start putting laterals on. Really close to the end of that making connection at Putes Road, that'll be a bit of a challenge. Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought that was tomorrow, so yeah. Yeah, it's a mess from where we had to connect. And the soil down there is not very good at all. Struggled with it. Once they get that piece done, then it'll calm down a little bit more.
Do you expect that to be completed before July?
Yes, oh yeah, definitely.
There was a question of that for celebrations for the parade.
Yep. It was,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah, the hope was to do it during the summertime, after the parade. But the bid that came in to do that was really expensive, so we had to do it concurrently with school. We worked really hard with the school to try and develop a plan or program to handle their drop off and pick up and construction at the same time. So certainly some people were, not happy having that inconvenience
Cars everywhere.
Yeah.
I know, like,
Or ride the bus.
the neighborhood's really not that far.
Yeah, yeah, very definitely. Yeah, I didn't bring my sheet that shows it. Yeah, they've clearly fixed their leak. We've noticed that the last several months that it's been down significantly. So, yeah, we haven't heard anything, but that must be what's going on. So that'll ripple through the percentages, but in reality, say 2 years ago, that's what they were then. So it really hasn't, they had a blip up for quite a while, that they were quite high, and now they're back down. Yes, yes.
All good? Number 9, consider a motion to approve the installation of parking permitted 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. signs on West Anderson Court on both sides of the street adjacent to 1100 West Anderson Court.
Morning, board members. Andrew Ledger, design engineer. Engineering received a request from the business at 1100 West Anderson Court, requesting that we permit parking out in front of their property from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. They had historically been utilizing that area for parking for visitors during the day and vendors when they stop in. When we passed the ordinance 31 back in that prohibited parking on all heavy truck routes. That prohibited parking in that area, so that's why they're making that request at this time.
1100.
It would be directly north of the, yes, yep, directly above the green lines there. Yep.
But having been there before, when when they're working, 'cause we've done presentations there with the robotics team, most of their staff takes up the
Really?
Bruno?
Grunau, yes.
No, that's I think they're both
Both,
building.
both.
That's their
I
administrative
was on the other
offices.
building.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe they may have two parcels out there.
Already
Um,
explained that.
Notifications were sent to all of the businesses on the street there. I didn't receive any responses back on that.
Trucks would be going into their property to the east. I think that's to the You don't see any problems, do you?
No, I don't see any issues. It's essentially restoring what was out there prior to that ordinance being adopted.
Comments or questions down here?
Well, the building that's to the right of the green lines, that's Grunau as well. So, I mean, the trucks that are going into that facility are part of the facility that's asking, right?
Yes, and prior to that ordinance being adopted, people were parking in that cul-de-sac as well. So this would keep vehicles out of that cul-de-sac, making that more accessible for vehicles.
Alrighty, then, we need a motion.
Marshall moved to approve the installation of parking permitted 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. signs on West Anderson Court on both sides of the street adjacent to 1100 West Anderson Court.
Roll call.
Gills eye.
Marshall, aye.
Guzekowski, aye? That does it, guys. Adjournment.
Marshall, second.
Roll call.
Marshall, aye.
Guzekowski, aye?